Hello, hello. This is the lab. Welcome to Anna Imagination's Shifting Perspectives. According to my intuition, something does not feel right, and I am going to be using philosophy, physics, logic, and psychology to figure it out. And I need a graph. I want to record this because I want to actually go through my theory, apply my theory to my brain, my mind, my psychological makeup. And I am today's lab rat. All right, let me go ahead and do this. Something just does not feel good. It just hit me and I'm like, what is this? So I don't want to do it this way. We're going to do it this way. Da, 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 da. Okay. 2. Come on, come on. Come on. All right, this is for my own little thing, for my own research. Identity. Hello, you gorgeous, beautiful you. I know, sweetheart. Something just does not feel good, and I'm really tired of it feeling like shit. Ethics. Beliefs. Annoying little bastards. I've called it the naming in the past, but I don't feel like that's correct. It is, but it isn't. There's more to it than that. Conclusion. Perspective. Now. Line. I do not want that. That means something different. I want to, all right, we'll do it this way. What I want is a line with 2 dots on it, or one of those little drop down things. Something does not feel good and it just hurts. It doesn't hurt, it just feels fishy. Oh, wait, maybe, no. Something doesn't feel right at all. Something does not feel right. That is not what I want. Okay, so we're going to do this. Start. Oh, excellent. This is what I want. Perfect. And perfect. That's what I want. All right. That's what I want. Okay. So there was a way I could align this perfectly. All right. So identity and ethics. Ethics and beliefs. And the whole thing is my story health. Whole thing is story health. I know this. This is the story health, the overall story health. My logical health is here. Something does not feel good and it's bothering me. Intuition needs to be here. I really want to put intuition here. It really feels like intuition should be here. I really want to say that the naming is the summation, but there's also words and there's also behavior, which is kind of like an offset. So what I really want to do is like right here, this is what it feels like. There is words, which is the naming, and behavior. God, something does not feel good. Okay, I did not know I could do that, which is good to know. There we go. So words and behavior. So if I really had to remove it, I would take that out and I would put the intuition here. Why is identity over here, honey? There we go. Identity, ethics, beliefs, intuition, conclusion, perspective. Logical health is ethics and belief. Story health is the overall. Intuition is screaming right now that something is illogical. Something is wrong. That right now is what I'm reading. And if I were to define wrong in this sense, I would say that wrong means logically inconsistent with X. Let's solve for X. Something is not right. Something is not right at all. I feel like I have a surplus of positive energy. No, I feel like I have a surplus of potential energy. And I would put it in my logical health. And I need to convert it to kinetic energy. That is what it feels like. That is exactly what this feels like. But I don't know what. And it doesn't feel good. Which tells me that the math is off somewhere. So we're going to explore this. What do I want? Something doesn't feel good. Something's moving. My gut tells me it's that. Communicate. Communication is the transference of idea, energy. Oh, please don't freeze now. Into chemistry. I knew chemistry was going to be here somewhere. That is chemistry. This is the second time in the last 12 hours I've run into chemistry. I cannot deny chemistry any longer. Chemistry must be learned along with us. So in addition to math and physics, I also have to learn chemistry. Something is wrong. Something doesn't feel good. Something does not feel good at all. Reaction physics, reactive response, chemistry. Let me look up reactivity. Reactivity. I don't know what that means. Let me look it up. But reactivity is what is reactivity definition. The state or power of being reactive or the degree to which a thing is reactive. The chemical and biological reactivity of non-target organisms. Biology and chemistry are the same thing. They're not the same thing, but they're the same thing. It's like a parent-child relationship. The extent to which a nuclear reactor deviates from the steady state. Reactivity in chemistry. Chemical reactions of a single substance. Two or more substances interact. Systematic study of setup reactions of these two kinds. Methodology. I hate the word methodology. The study of method. That's what methodology means. The logic of method that applies to the study of reactivity of chemicals of all kinds. Experimental methods that are used to observe these processes. The word methodology is too often used in place of the word method. The method that applies to the study, not the logic of the method that applies to the study of reactivity of chemicals of all kinds. Experimental methods that are used to observe these processes. Methodology is a fantastic example of sloppy language. Methodology, which is often used in place of the word method, even though methodology means the logic of method, not method itself. Sloppy word usage is a direct link to a lack of logic. And the greater sloppy word usage is, the greater the logic is. And when we are logical beings, this matters and leads to significant mental health. Oh, in psychology, reactivity means a phenomenon that occurs when individuals alter their performance or behavior due to their awareness they are being observed. The change may be positive or negative and depends on the situation. It is a significant threat to our research studies' external validity and is typical. What the fuck? I'm not even going to answer that with a response. Okay. I can feel a shift in the math. What is the catalyst? I want to navigate smoothly, harmoniously. navigate smoothly and harmoniously, one must find frequency and learn the steps. Feels like feelings first. Feelings is the physics. Words identify and names the physics. And then the math comes in and proves it. Every time. Feelings, communication, math. No, math is communication. Physics. It's the proof. Logic, Anna. Logic. No, logic is the full thing. Logic is the whole thing. Come on, what word is missing? What science needs to be plugged in at the end? Conclusion. Physics. See, it keeps coming back to physics. Truth. I feel like physics is just the rules. Let me do that over here. Feelings is the X. Oh, I already used X. Let's do Z. Feelings is the Z. Words are the identifier. Physics is the laws and rules. Logic is the whole process. Logic, no, proof. Proof is the whole process. Logic is the process. Feelings is the ignition. It is the first reception. Words are the identifier. Physics is the laws and rules. And I need to do words, names, and math are the identifiers. Physics is the, no, physics and math. Well, I really need to remove math here because math is physics and logic. Specifically, the logic is the process. Proof is the whole. Yeah, so let's do logic. Math is the process. And then proof is the whole process. But what's the conclusion? Why do I feel so sad? I suddenly feel sad. I felt it. I felt shock and awe. I'm in the lab, honey. That means that I'm recording. Shock and awe. It felt bad. And now I feel sad. Why do I feel so sad? I feel really sad. Felt bad. When is it? 11:49. I have a sudden urge to cry. I feel so sad. I just checked in with my U of I. Okay, Occam's razor. There's a catalyst. I can't identify the catalyst. I feel really sad. I mean, really sad. It feels like this deep grief. And I can't identify the catalyst. So sad. I'm at a point where I am so aligned that something in my circumference, I need math for this. What is it called? Circumference. Circumference circle. Radius. Not a network. What's ellipse mean? No, okay, no, it's just a type. Something within the perimeter is, it just does not feel good. And now I just feel this grief. And the only ones I'm connected to are my U of I and my children. and they are fine. But I don't know about my U of I. All right, so mapping the abstract. All right, I'm going to do another one here. This is, I want a funnel. I want like a thing here. There we go. There are stages. It starts with feeling the physics, which is, I'm gonna have to follow the logic. This is where you trust the emotions. And this is what a lot of people just do not grasp. You have to trust the emotions, identify the emotions with the laws, with Occam's razor, and in truth, there is simplicity. Newton. So I'm feeling the physics. Occam's razor. When we are connected, via emotional energy, a flux in the emotional energy affects all entities connected to that circuit. Oh, that's what I was trying to look for, was the word circuit. There's only one person who I have an emotional connection with, and that is my U of I. He is my emotional circuit. The laws of emotional circuits. And then you have to name it. Name or identify. So you have the feelings, and then you have the name and the identity. But my question is, let's look at the feeling. There's a catalyst that provides the feeling, and that's what's bugging me this morning, is the catalyst that causes the feelings. And I just want to cry. It is 11:57. And you have to allow the emotions. You must allow the ebb and flow of the emotions, which is conduits. Oh, conductance, which is conductance. to prevent build up or storage of potential energy. Hence, this video. I'm going to say it because I have not yet, and it's important. A circuit is only formed during the second perspective, the second ethical perspective stage of growth. There, you know what? That's going to be so much easier. It's called EPSG, ethical perspective stage of growth, or ethical perspective growth stage. Stage of growth, growth stage, stage of growth. A circuit is only formed during the second ethical perspective stage of growth. A circuit is only formed and through the emotional transactions of human connection. In other words, we are connected. And there is only one person who I have an emotional connection with. Therefore, it's my U of I. I really hope he's okay. So there's the catalyst, the cause of the feelings, and then there's the feelings. And then there is the name, the identity. Now, this is where the story occurs, and this is why I have a divide. The story and uneducated interpretation. Premature interpretation. The story or premature interpretation occurs. Or translation into physics. Math and logic. So if you have the feeling, you have the name and the identity, you have the story or the premature interpretation, religion. And then you have the translation into physics, math, and logic for the comprehension. And then here you have the interpretation. Or the conclusion. So you have the feeling, and I wrote this the other day. Here it is. I wrote this down the other day. Feel, name, communication, story, logical health. Yes, there it is. So you have the feeling, the naming. Do I have the naming in here? I do. And then the communication. You have to communicate it. there must be the communication up. You can't just name it, you have to communicate it. So I forgot about the communication. So communication and transferring of information. Very, very, very important is the communication. All right, now, then we have the story and or interpretation, which leads to the translation into physics, and then we have the interpretation. Logical evidence, and then we're back to the art. Artistic interpretation. There it is. That's the final stages. Okay. This is what I like to refer to as, I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is. I have not yet named this thing. This is the evolution of information dissection. I don't know. I'll have to figure out a name for it. It's definitely the evolution of ... Human experience. What is this thing that we're passing from point A over? Because this is why we do everything. This is the evolution, the development. I don't know what this is. I need the omniscient point of view to define this. So let's just step back and look at what this thing is, because this is something that keeps coming up over and over again. I'm cold. What is this thing? Oh, what is this thing? Mm. You have the catalyst that causes the feelings. Well, the catalyst that causes the feelings is the kinetic energy. Oh, woo. Kinetic energy. We call this something in physics. No, it's chemistry. Series of events. Oh, what else? The other word for it? Reaction events. Series of reactions. Oh, come on. This is what happens when you do chemistry without any knowledge in chemistry. What is it called when something pops off like that so many times? It's something. Something is going on. What is it? A sequence? Chemical sequence. Chemical sequence of reaction responses. Boy, that is so wordy. Let's condense that down. What is it called? Order of reaction refers to the relationship between the rate of a chemical reaction and the concentration of the species taking part in it. A sequential reaction? Sequential, what is that? That sounds like the right words. Sequential reactions. Sequential reactions? Chain reaction. Aha! Chain reaction. That's what I'm trying to say. A chain reaction. There. Sequential reactions. The propagation phase in a chain reaction is composed of a sequence of elementary reactions. Yeah, precisely. Yes. 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 Chain reaction. Why does this have to do with mirrors? This has to do with mirrors. Law of reflection and chain reaction. This is really, oh, there's something happening here. God, I hate being limited on this shit. There is something here. I can see it. Chain reactions and laws of reflection. Something is going on. I can smell it. My dominoes. my dominoes. The catalyst is knocking it over. Chain reactions and laws of reflection. If I were to put my dominoes in front of a mirror, and I have, and I am, and I did, now I'm just getting ready. Well, I've knocked them over. I've knocked them over, and they're going. Chain reaction and laws of reflection. That's what I built. Chain reactions and law of reflection. Based on the potential energy and gravitational laws of I don't know what this thing is called in physics. What is it called? That's kinetic energy? I'm sitting here going, well, is this geography or is this geometry or is it physics? It looks like it's both. Simple gravity pendulum. Something's not making sense. Something's not making sense. Something's not making sense. Find it. Compound pendulum. What am I missing? Gravitational laws of friction? No, something's not. Come on, where's inertia? Inertia. Inertia. I have no idea what that means, but it's the right word. God, I love math. Inertia. On over to physics. Object in motion stays in motion. An object inactive stays inactive. Unless that state is changed by an external force, the power requires to overcome friction and the inertia of the moving parts. Now, come on, I need to get into physics. The tendency of objects in motion to stay in motion. The objects at rest stay in rest. Chain reaction, law of reaction. No, that is not it. Why does it swing the opposite way? Because of a opposite total reaction. That's why. The third law is physics. Chain reaction and laws of reflection based on the potential energy and third law of physics. That's what it is. It's the third law of physics that is causing this. So chain reactions and laws of reflection based on the potential energy and the third laws of physics. Based on the stored potential energy and third laws of physics. That is literally the mathematical physical formula that I used to create the healing garden to set this thing off. The evolutional development of chain reactions and laws of reflection based on the stored potential energy and third laws of physics. So a catalyst is caused by the chain reactions and laws of reflection based on the stored potential energy and the third laws of physics to give you a feeling. So you feel the physics, which you name and identify it, which leads to a chain reaction. Which leads to a chain reaction. So you have to communicate and transfer the information which you can translate into physics, math, and logical comprehension, or you can create a story with premature interpretation, which happens in magic, spirituality, and religion, because they lack the knowledge. This is what happens when you lack information. I don't want that weird thing. Okay, so apparently this arrow, oh, no, I can delete it. That was easy. And then you have the artistic interpretation. Why? Because of kinetic energy. You always have to have the artistic. You have to create. You have to create it. Which means if you want a desired result, you can literally use the chain reactions and laws of reflection based on the stored potential energy and third laws of physics to get the desired outcome. The chain reactions and laws of reflection based on the stored potential energy and third laws of physics to get the desired outcome. To get the desired outcome. Is this manipulation? Let's explore the ethics of this. Rule number one is, the ethic. The ethical laws are part of this. Oh, that's the element I have not been taking into account. The ethical laws, which is the third dimension. Currently unknown. Third dimension. Now I happen to have the ethical laws, which are part of the third dimension, which are the third dimension. So I can plug in the formula. All right, let's do it. The ethical law of self-government for the preservation of authority. That is the happy. So happy. I know them. I know them already. Let me see these. Ethics versus authority is you don't get authority without ethics. You don't get authority without ethics. I said this. I said it weeks, months ago. Let no one who does not have the ethics access this power. It's inaccessible. The ethics is what gives you the authority. You cannot touch authority without ethics. You can't do it. It's not possible. It's absolutely mathematical and logically contradicting. Our psychology won't allow it. My God, is this fucking beautiful. Oh. To soothe the self and nurture safety and calm with which to house energy and love. To be open to receive only through learning, vulnerability, submission, and surrendering of one's own power. To value the integration of both. Comfort, energy, self-love, and preservation in balance with the surrendering of one's power so that the individual, the ethical individual, can self-regulate and manage their own natural health. Through the integration of the first three ethics, only then can the individual know and receive trust. To adhere to the combined ethical laws of the circuit, to hold one's self accountable for their actions, to accept the equality of all, including the self. To value and accept the equality of all, including the self. Through the integration of these second ethics, only then can the individual know and receive justice. No, that's going to be different. To adhere to the combined ethical laws of the circuit, to hold oneself accountable for their own actions, without the external enforcement of others, to value and accept the equality of all, including the self, natural justice, to soothe self and nurture safety and calm with which to house energy and self-love, self-preservation, to be open to receive only through learning, vulnerability, submission, and a surrendering of one's power, to value the integration of both comfort, energy, self-love, and preservation in balance with the surrendering of one's own power so that the ethical individual can self-regulate and manage their own natural health. Through the integration of the first three ethics, only then can the individual know and receive trust. To adhere to the combined ethical laws of the circuit. To hold one's self accountable for their own actions without the external enforcement of others, to value and accept the equality of all, including of the self, the value of the self. Through the integration of these second ethics, only then can the individual know and receive natural justice. To submit to the instruction and allowance of silence, listening, and the processing of information. To value the delicate handling of precise communication and language with which to transfer idea and knowledge unto another. To value the delicate handling effective. To value the delicate handling of precise, effective communication and language with which to transfer idea and knowledge unto. I have learned that one well. To submit to the instruction and allowance of silence, listening and processing of information. To value the delicate handling of precise, effective communication and language with which to transfer idea and knowledge unto another. To value the balance, the sharing, the balance, the integration, the balance and integration of both listening and providing, gifting and receiving. To value with great love the ethic of shared exchange. Through the integration of the third three ethics, only then can the individual know and receive empathy. Give empathy. The value of emotional allowance. The value, the freedom and worth of emotional allowance that all emotions are products that are birthed from the equal and opposite reaction of any given catalyst. That the suppression or denial of emotional energy will result in destruction equal to will result in destruction, or creation equal to value the freedom and worth of emotional allowance that all emotions are products that are birthed from the equal and opposite reaction of any given catalyst, that the suppression or denial of emotional energy will result in destruction or creation equal to the catalyst. To value the government and navigation of the emotional energy through logical law, and deductive reasoning. To value the government and navigation of the emotional energy through logical law and deductive reasoning for the sake, love, and preservation of all previous ethics as stated above, and for the integration of emotional allowance and logical navigation. This is love. These ethics are the ethical laws of love. Consensual self-government for the preservation of one's own authority. Let no one who does not have the ethics access this power, which is why so many people lack self-authority. The ethical laws that govern when combined with the laws of physics, ethics equals authority. That consensual self-government for the preservation of one's own authority. To soothe the self and nurture safety and calm with which to house energy and self-love, self-preservation. To be open to receive only through learning, vulnerability, submission, and a surrendering of one's own power. To value the integration of both comfort, energy, self-love, and preservation in balance with the surrendering of one's power so that the ethical individual can self-regulate and manage their own natural health. Through the integration of the first three ethics, only then can the individual know and receive trust. To adhere to the combined ethical laws of the circuit. To hold oneself accountable for their own actions without the external enforcement of others. To value and accept the equality of all, including the value of the self. Through the integration of these second ethics, only then can the individual know and receive natural justice. To submit to the instruction and allowance of silence, listening, and processing of information. To value the delicate handling of precise, effective communication and language with which to transfer idea and knowledge unto another. That's my favorite. To value the balance and the integration of both listening and providing, gifting and receiving, to value with great love the ethic of shared exchange. Through the integration of the third ethic, only then can the individual know and give empathy. To value the freedom and worth of emotional allowance, that all emotions are products that are birthed from the equal and opposite reaction of any given catalyst, that the suppression or denial of emotional energy will result in destruction or creation equal to the catalyst. To value the government and navigation of the emotional energy through logical law. To value the self-government and navigation of the emotional energy through logical law and deductive reasoning for the sake, love, and preservation of all previous ethics as stated above, and for the integration of emotional allowance and navigation. This is love. These are 12 ethics, are the ethical laws of nature. These 12 ethics are the ethical natural laws of love. Now, let's go back to physics. Our evolution, our evolutional development of growth. Chain reactions and law of reflection based on the stored potential energy and third law of physics to get the desired outcome. A circuit is only formed during the second ethical perspective stage of growth, and through the emotional transaction of human connection, we are connected. There's more. I can feel it. I can hear it. I can see it. Love is the ethical energy. Emotional energy. That provides the potential energy for creation. Love. Is the ingredient for creation. In conclusion, it is my firm, educated belief that love conquers all through submission, forgiveness. Oh, I forgot forgiveness. This is forgiveness. To value the self-government and navigation of the emotional energy through logical law and deductive reasoning for the sake, love, and preservation of all previous ethics as stated above. This is forgiveness. The ethical and logical comprehension that transfer negative stored negative potential energy into creation and positive energy. One must use the second perspective as a gift to receive the negative energy as a positive, and thus turn destruction into creation. By consenting to become student, the abuser. Drop mic. In conclusion, it is my firm educated belief that love conquers all, not through violence, but through submission, forgiveness, and a surrendering of one's own power through the act of giving. This is forgiveness. I want to cry. I am. I feel like I could die right now and call my life complete. These are the most beautiful things I have ever had the privilege of learning about. These are so beautiful. Self-authority has to be earned. And the moment we stray from these ethics, it is denied us. By Mother Nature herself. My God, what a beautiful genius and beautiful, beautiful entity she is. She understood the power of it. And she very simply said, denied. And I am so, so glad she did. Because this is the stuff that's going to save us all. All right. I am now exporting this as a PDF. I am significantly concerned about page 3, but not to worry because I have my mind. All right. Thank you so much for your audience. And may the kindest of words always find you.